It is the 3rd of July 2023. Welcome to KUTV Primetime News. Trust you're doing well and that your week has started on a high note. We have a lot of stories lined up for you tonight, but first let's take a look at our top stories tonight. High Court rules creation of 50 CAS posts as unconstitutional in today's court ruling. KNBS reports a reduction of FGM cases by 6% in 2022. Kenyatta University holds climate change conference to encourage the youth to work together in protecting the environment. And in Kirinyaga County, a woman has been killed by her husband over beans sale misunderstanding. Alright, Sammy OKELLO is our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is ODIDA and we are live on our social media platforms. That is on Facebook and YouTube at KUTV_Kenya. The hashtag is Primetime News. We begin. Now, the High Court has rejected President William Ruto's appointment of 50 chief administrative secretaries. In a ruling given by a three-judge bench in Milimani Law Courts this evening, the appointment process failed to comply with the provisions of the law in adherence to constitutionality, public participation, and budget implications. The case has been pending since a submission was lodged by the Law Society of Kenya and other petitioners, with the CAS since then barred from assuming office and getting remunerations.
Anne Wanjiku Mwangi being appointed a Chief Administrative Secretary in the Government of Kenya.
A three-judge bench of the High Court has ruled against President Ruto's appointment of 50 chief administrative secretaries, declaring the positions unconstitutional.
FISRAM to deal with the next issue.
Judges Hedwin Ongudi, Kanyi Kimondo, and Visra Alem Al-Nashir made the hard decisions on grounds of constitutionality, public participation and governance, as well as financial implications.
That the current office of Chief Administrative Secretary, created by the first and fifth respondents and contained in the Kenya Gazette Special Issue number 12432, dated 12th of October 2022, and which announced the vacancies thereof, is unconstitutional. B, that whereas there was some reasonable public participation on the first complement of 23 chief administrative secretaries, there was no such participation regarding the additional complement of 27 office holders.
The 50 CAS were nominated for appointment by President William Ruto on March 16th this year, with defined roles being to deputize the 22 cabinet secretaries. In the same month, Ruto presided over their swearing in, even after the National Assembly declined to vet them, saying the House had no constitutional authority to do so.
We take note of the first petitioner's argument that the advice given by the fourth respondent to the fifth respondent in respect of the remuneration and benefits for persons appointed to the office of CAS was inaccurate and misleading. This was due to lack of information as to how many positions would be created. On the other hand, the fourth petitioner argued that the appointment of CAS is a waste of public funds and resources in the face of the high unemployment levels and economic recession facing Kenyans.
The fate of President Ruto's chief administrative secretaries remained hanging in the balance following a petition challenging the appointment lodged by the Law Society of Kenya (LSK) in conjunction with Katiba Institute and other individual petitioners. The move staged a blow to the government as the High Court barred the CAS from assuming the office, earning salaries, remuneration, or any benefit pending the hearing and determination of their case. The petitioners sought to have the court nullify the decision of the president to create an additional 27 CAS positions, as only 23 vacancies lawfully existed in the 2018 establishment by former President Uhuru Kenyatta's government.
However, and more importantly, it submitted that while the provisions of Order 3, Rule 5 of the Civil Procedure Rules and the Constitution of Kenya, protection of fundamental rights and freedoms practiced in Procedural Rules 2013, do permit the joinder of causes of action, the issue of the creation of the position of CAS and the subsequent appointment of the second to 51st interested parties as CASs.
The court had that the financial implications were not considered in October 2022 when the office of CAS was created, or on February 27, 2023 when the Public Service Commission concurred with President Ruto to increase the number by 27. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Now, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, that is KNBS, has today launched the 2022 Kenya Demographic and Health Survey at KICC in Nairobi. According to the report, FGM prevalence reduced in 2022 compared to 2014. That is from 21% to 15%. The report has also shown that in 2022, the rate of men and women testing for HIV was on the rise compared to 2014. The launch was attended by the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Susan Nakumicha, and Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, Njuguna Ndung'u, among other leaders.
For the seventh time since 1998, the Kenya Bureau of Statistics today launched the 2022 Kenya Demographic and Health Survey at KICC in Nairobi. According to the survey report, in terms of health, 88% of births are delivered in a health facility, while 11% are still delivered at home. The health facility deliveries have improved from 65% in 2014 to 88% in 2022. The proportions of children who are stunted and underweight have improved since 2014, with 18% of children under 5 stunted, 5% wasted, and 10% underweight. In addition, 47% of women and 39% of men aged 15 to 49 have been tested for HIV and received their results for the past 12 months. The report also recorded that the prevalence of female genital mutilation has decreased from 21% in 2014 to 15% in 2022. On the other hand, the total demand for family planning among married women aged 14 to 49 is 76%, of which 14% of married women have an unmet need for family planning, while 75% of the demand for family planning is satisfied by modern methods. In terms of employment, 67% of married women aged 15 to 49 are employed, compared to 98% of married men in the same age bracket. Among working married women, 77% are paid in cash, while 71% report earning less than their husbands. The report also records that 7% of women and 5% of men who are disabled and aged 15 years and above have difficulties moving or performing functions such as seeing, hearing, communicating, remembering or concentrating, walking or climbing steps, washing or dressing. The survey is meant to provide up-to-date estimates of demographic, health and nutrition indicators to guide the planning, implementation, monitoring and evaluation of population and health-related programs at the national and county levels. Ruth Wanjiru for KUTV.
All right, now Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has urged the church to be key drivers of peace in the country and support the government's initiative of uniting Kenyans. Speaking during the World Conference of Friends Church held at Kabarak University today, Mudavadi noted that the church plays a critical role in society and should be a reflection of the country in terms of stability and prosperity in all spheres of life.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi today graced the World Conference of Friends Church Quakers held at Kabarak University in Nakuru. During the conference, Mudavadi urged the members of Friends Church in Africa to embrace their role in promoting the Quaker foundation of peace, humility and integrity. He highlighted the prevailing violence and proxy international wars in Africa, emphasizing the need for the Church of Friends to intervene in fostering peace, citing Sudan as an example.
By commissioning Quaker activities in Africa, I look forward to an enhanced alternative to violence program for Africa that will replicate the Ramallah Friends School Center in Palestine, and establish Quaker universities for peace studies in the manner found in the USA and Canada.
Mudavadi also commended the efforts of the Quakers Church in Kenya for working on a peace curriculum which is to be integrated into the national education curriculum, emphasizing that such initiatives could influence the national discourse and future generations.
It is gratifying that the Quaker Church in Kenya is working on a peace curriculum to be integrated in the national education curriculum. This is the way to go in influencing national discourse now and for posterity.
Mudavadi also highlighted the pressing issues of climate change, which has adversely affected regions such as drought-stricken Turkana and Samburu. He revealed that the Kenyan government has committed to planting 15 billion trees within the next 10 years.
As a policy decision, we are also saying that out of these 15 billion trees, we want 5 billion trees to be fruit trees. A third to be fruit trees. Your avocados, your mangoes, your guavas, oranges.
The Prime CS also called the church to combine theological teachings with practical skills so as to enable pastors address economic matters. He also sought the support of the church in combating the rise of fake pastors who mislead the society. The 2023 Triennial Gathering, which commenced yesterday, will end on 8th July. As the Quaker community gathers to deliberate on crucial issues, the Prime CS has called for collective responsibility and commitment to peace, integrity and positive change. Patrick Odur, KUTV.
Thank you, Patrick, for that report. Now moving on, Laikipia County Deputy Commissioner Patrick Muli, while leading the registration exercise of vulnerable people for free NHIF cover in Nanyuki, urged the residents to support leaders who deliver on the promises they made to the people. Muli noted that the free NHIF cover will smoothen the process of accessing healthcare for the vulnerable people who rarely manage to pay hospital bills.
The vulnerable residents of Laikipia County have gotten relief after they were enrolled for NHIF cover to help them access free medical services. The beneficiaries of the initiative include the aged, people with disability, as well as orphans who have been assured of benefits from other projects in Laikipia East National Government Constituency Development Fund, KITI.
Bila matendo. Wale viongozi wetu ambao wako na vitendo ni maana kuliko wala wanaongea zaidi. Sasa
the initiative comes after the county government urged residents to register with NHIF to avoid overburdening local health facilities with medical waiver requests, a move which greatly affects the financial status of the facilities since the number of requests keeps rising day by day. Jacinta Mumbi, who is a beneficiary of the NHIF initiative, expressed her joy and gave thanks to the leaders who made it possible.
Lakini hii kadi hii inasaidia mimi sana. Hata wale tuko karibu na wao wanapenda mtee kijuri. Kwa maana anachurika mambo mengi. Anachurika tunapatia miriketi, tunafurahi, tunapatia kila kitu. Hata mambo mengi sana anachurika sana. Mungu abariki, awatende mema.
John Muitaidie, a beneficiary of the initiative, explained that he has never owned an NHIF cover and that having it will now ease the process of accessing healthcare services. In addition, Simon Kinywa applauded the program, saying it will enable them to get better health services.
Mimi nafurahia sana hii maneno ya CDF kwa sababu sasa nimeona nimepata kandi na nafurahia sana hiyo huduma yao. Na nasema asante, serikali yetu iendelee namna hiyo.
Ugonjwa ni kitu ambayo inaweza tokea kwa ghafla. Kwa hivyo mimi najua huu mradi ni mradi ambao unanufaisha wananchi wa nchi hii yetu na hasa wale watu ambao hawajiwezi. Na kama wakati wa leo ambapo mheshimiwa wetu amekuja akatuambia atatulipia kiasi ya pesa kutoka kwa CDF.
The county administrators assured the beneficiaries of the NHIF initiative that they will be included in the Inua Jamii program. Ivy Bina, KUTV.
In Kirinyaga County, a 47-year-old man has killed his wife at Gichonjo village after she sold a bag of beans without his consent. The man is said to have been drunk when he got back home and performed the act, after which he surrendered himself to Kiamutugu police station.
Tragedy has been witnessed in Kirinyaga County after a woman was killed by her husband for selling beans without his consent. A neighbor to the family in the picture explained that he had commotion from the homestead, and when he drew near, he overheard the suspect question the deceased over the sold beans. He added that the wrangles went on through the night, and when they went to check on them in the morning, they received the sad news.
Asubuhi ndiposa nikaibiwa na jirani mwingine, akakuja kuniamsha jirani mwingine akaniambia twende tuangalie tuone venye hiyo vita ilimalizia, lakini mimi nikamwambia siwezi enda kuamsha mtu saa hiyo masaa, sababu kulikuwa mapema, kulikuwa around 6. Alafu baadaye 7:30 ndio assistant chief akakuja, tukaenda tukapata huyo mtu kama alikuwa ameuliwa, alikuwa amelazwa kwa hapo kwa kitchen.
The village elder Alexander Njogu said the suspect was known for domestic violence, which he was invited to solve severally, but eventually led to the escape of his first wife before he remarried the deceased. The suspect's tendency of starting fights with his wife is linked to his alcohol intake.
Watu wa area hii walikuwa nasikia wanapigana, lakini juu wamezoea. Watu wa area walikuwa wanajua tu ni ile kitu ya kawaida. Vile wanapigana nuru nini hiyo ni kawaida. Ni kama vile ukisikia mtu amezoea kupiga nuru unasikia ni kwa huyu neighbor ama ni kwa mtu mwingine. Sasa watu walizoea tu.
After the suspect surrendered himself to the police, the assistant chief of Gichonjo village called Harrison, who was his close friend, to help with investigations. Harrison said that the suspect informed them to not look anywhere as he had stuffed his lifeless body in the kitchen.
Ndio sababu akaja kwangu, nikampeleka hapa kwake mahali tulipo sasa. Na wakati tulifika hapa tukasunguka kwa nyumba, tukakuta kuna mwili yote ya ile marehemu ambaye alikuwa amesema ameua. Na yeye mwenyewe akapigwa simu tena akasema, "Msitafute sana mtu ambaye nimeua, ako hapo kwa jiko, ako jikoni." Na wakati nilifungua jiko kwa nyumba ya jikoni, tukakuta kweli ni kweli amemuua na amelazwa hapo kwenye jiko.
The body of the deceased was taken to Kerugoya Level 5 Hospital mortuary as it awaits post-mortem. Ivy Bina, KUTV.
That is a very sad story right there indeed, and condolences to the friends and family of that lady. Now, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga has vowed that he will not relent in his quest to ensure that the Kenya Kwanza government puts an end to heavy taxation. Odinga was addressing a rally at Asango Market in Ugunja constituency after opening a dining hall at Ida Odinga Girls Secondary School, noted that citizens are tired of government's taxation and that the coalition will have to exercise the rights given by the Constitution to picket and bring down the high cost of living. Odinga also accused President William Ruto's government for what he termed as lying to Kenyans during campaigns, that the cost of living will be bearable should Kenya Kwanza government take over power. The opposition leader said the current parliament cannot be relied on to defend citizens, accusing a good number of legislators of having been compromised by the government. As a result, he said Kenyans have decided to take over the power given to them by the Constitution and will exercise it on July 7, 2023 to demand withdrawal of what he termed as punitive taxes.
Tumefika wakati hatutaki watu ambao wana hofu. Raila amesimamia nchi hii tukapata katiba. Raila amesimamia nchi hii tukapata devolution, yani serikali ya ugatuzi. Raila amefungwa kwa kuleta uhuru na haki za kibinadamu hapa Kenya. Sasa hapa Comrade na Sango na Ugunja na Siaya, baba anafungwa jela na mtu ambaye amekosa akili anakuletea mchele na maharagwe ndio wewe kutosha. Punda imechoka na mzigo. Tumesema hawa jamaa waliingia kwa serikali wakisema watateremsha gharama ya maisha chini. Ati wataangalia mambo ya watu wa chini. Ati ilikuwa juu chini, bottom up. Wataangalia mambo ya mahasla. Wale mama mboga, watu wa bodaboda, watu wa jua kali. Lakini sasa wamesahau watu wa jua kali. Wakenya walisema kwa kura ya maoni 59%, 95% ati hawataki gharama ya maisha ipandishwe.
Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice, in partnership with the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, has held its third cohort on climate change at Kenyatta University. The event targets the young activists at climate advocacy for creating awareness on climate justice in the continent.
Climate change has been a rampant issue in Africa with devastating effect to people in marginalized areas. The Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice has today held its third cohort opening symposium at Kenyatta University.
Here, and the reason why we are here is because we are here. So we really don't want to take this for granted, that you have come all the way from all the African countries, and we feel honored that you are here.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu has reiterated the impact of the climate change in education sector, claiming that it is affecting the learners since some are forced to relocate from their homes due to drought. The CS also highlighted the commitment of the Ministry of Education to support the movement in fostering awareness on climate change.
The Ministry of Education has continued to recognize education as a powerful tool to cultivate a generation of informed, environmentally conscious citizens who can actively contribute to mitigating and adapting to climate change challenges.
Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor Professor Paul Wanaina has cited that the institution is playing a big role in environmental issues by educating and creating awareness to the young people through environment studies and engaging in tree planting activities.
We are very strong in environmental studies, and recently we have joined environmental studies and agriculture. And we have very strong programs related to climate change.
Executive Director for Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, Midika Mwenda, cited that they have put in measures to mobilize the citizens to combat climate change. He has called upon young people to rise for climate justice. Today marks the first day of the third cohort of Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice, an event that is set to end on 15th of July 2023.
We need you, the young people, young leaders, young activists to join us in this struggle. As you know from your experiences, the young people of Africa and the global south are among the most vulnerable and affected by the climate crisis.
In a 2-week forum, young people across the African nations have been urged to participate in activities that will enable curb climate change effects. Dorothy Musioka, KUTV, Nairobi.
All right, 25 minutes past the top of the hour. We are taking our very first short break at this point, and of course we have so much lined up for you, so stay with us.
Maisha ni haya mwanaume ali. Sielewi yani hata neno moja. Yani tunasikia tu maboko likolo. Yani ukiniangalia tu huyu mwamba huyu anafiti sehemu fulani. Wewe inakaa. Without your love, I can't move on. Yo, that's your boy Rhino the Don. Keep watching and listening to KUTV.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area. So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Readiness Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Mtazamaji popote ulipo, unapokuwa ukitazama Safina Show
inang'oananga sasa hivi. Ungana nami Albanas Mwania, nahodha wa Safina Show, nikutoe ng'ambo ya pili hadi ufuoni. Safina Show, sauti ya matumaini.
Kutoka kuwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha kilimo katika mitindo yao ya maisha. Kwenye toleo la kaunti ya Narok, hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwani afya bora ni kilimo bora.
Kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalonukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's continue with our coverage. Now, tea sector stakeholders, alongside a section of leaders drawn from Kirinyaga County, have decried the hawking of tea going on in the county. According to the leaders, the hawking has caused a reduction of tea profits in Kirinyaga, as well as increased loss of tea leaves that the farmers are incurring. This comes days before a national tea reforms conference set to be held in Kericho County on 6th to 7th July this year.
It is just a few days before the conference on tea reforms is held in Kericho County. Tea stakeholders and directors, among them political leaders in Kirinyaga County, have opposed tea hawking, stating that a company from Embu and Meru County is behind the hawking business, which according to them is illegal.
Kuna kampuni imekuja hapa Kirinyaga inafanya mambo ya hawking. Na hii kampuni inatoka pande ya Embu na Meru. Na inanunua kilo moja kwa shilingi 25. Na itafanya mkulima wetu aingie kwa shida, kwa sababu sisi kama KTDA tunalipa more than shilingi 50. Kwa hivyo tumeambia mheshimiwa aende atuangalilie maneno.
The leaders say that the tea hawking activity in the county is facing a number of challenges, which include tea theft, lack of tea market, among others.
Hakuna factory hata moja, the last bonus haikulipa 50 shillings. So they are stealing 25 shillings from our people. Number two, they are affecting the quality of our tea because they are not looking at the quality so much. I don't know what they are doing with their tea because they are buying it cheaply. So they will also wataleta shida ya quality in our tea farms. Number three, there is this other issue about watu wakianza kuuza kama ni mahindi wanauza, wizi ya majani itaanza.
The two-day conference, which will be presided over by the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, aims to bring about sustainable solutions to the tea subsector by establishing working strategies to help overcome current challenges facing tea farmers. Some of these obstacles include challenges in the usage of tea picking machines in the farms, prices of tea, availability of farm inputs, climate change, and value addition. According to DP Gachagua, the ongoing tea sector reforms aim at increasing income that farmers earn from the tea production. Caroline Kimwele for KUTV.
Plans by a United Nations agency to cut food aid from July 1st for refugees in Uganda, Africa's biggest refugee host, are expected to worsen their struggle with food shortages from climate change. The UN's World Food Programme says aid cuts leave them with no choice but to help only the most vulnerable. VOA's Halima Thumani reports from Palurinya refugee camp in Obongi district, Uganda.
In Uganda's Palurinya refugee camp, gardens are filled with corn, but there will be little to harvest. Father of 9, Eid Alfred, says in the past his garden yielded 2 bags of corn, but with the prolonged drought this year, he expects nothing.
When you look at these crops, they are not drought resistant. They need constant rain for a good harvest. Without rain, I won't get anything. They will die completely.
The UN's refugee agency says Uganda is home to more than 1.5 million refugees and asylum seekers, making it the largest host in Africa. Uganda's government provides each family with a 9 by 9 meter plot for a house and a small garden. But it's not enough to survive for refugee families like mother of 5, Naima Poni, who treks to the border with South Sudan to buy food.
The food is very little. My children is now growing, they're eating too much. Even though no food is not enough.
The UN says it has only received 27% of the funding needed for refugees in Uganda, so it has been forced to switch for the first time to targeted assistance from July 1st. Households considered most vulnerable, such as those headed by women or the chronically ill, will receive 60% of the recommended monthly food ration. other refugees will get just 30%. The World Food Programme's Deputy Director for Uganda, Marcus Pryor, says officials will keep a close watch for serious negative impacts from the food cuts.
We'll look at things like people's food consumption, we'll look at malnutrition rates, we'll look at the kind of survival strategies that refugees resort to if they are in difficulties. And this will allow us to take our case to those who support the World Food Programme and the refugee response more broadly.
Refugee leader Kenyi Moses says he is already seeing an impact from the drought and food aid cuts. Some refugees are leaving.
Most of our house for right now, they were only left in the hands of younger children. Most of our people have gone back to South Sudan. And very well when he knew the situation is not all that favoring, these children alone, as they're being assured, and they cannot take as a family.
The World Food Programme in Uganda says it needs at least $64 million to support the refugees until the end of the year. Halima Athmani for VOA News, Paloriño Refugee Camp in Obongi District, Uganda.
Now, unemployment has been a big challenge in the country, with the youth being most affected by this economic phenomenon. Despite this being a frustration to most Kenyan youth, some have embraced creativity and self-employment to earn a living. Meet one Dennis Karimi from Syokimau, Machakos County, who is a glass artist. Through his art, Karimi repurposes waste glass bottles into reusable household items. Elid Miteri unpacks his story in this report.
Unemployment is a challenge that bites many Kenyan youth. However, some youth have decided to face it head-on by coming up with creative ways of earning a living. We meet Dennis Karemi, a glass artist who transforms waste glass bottles into reusable household items like wine and water glasses, flower vases, candle holders, among others, at Karim Glass Solutions in Syokimau, Machakos County.
So mimi naitwa Dennis Karemi na kwa socials naitwa Denokuri na nafanyanga kazi ya glasswork, glass solutions, like anything to do with glass. So kuna glasswork and then kuna bottles kama extension ya glasswork.
Dennis tells us that his family has been involved in glassworks for more than 2 decades, but he started glass artistry, or bottle works as he calls it, by luck in 2017.
2017 hapo ndio tulianza the first orders za bottle work. Zili tupata tu tukifanya kazi ya glass. Someone just came with a few bottles, alikuwa anataka kukatiwa, and since duka yetu inaitwa Glass Solution, we really had to solve that problem for that person.
Various items are made out of the glass waste, although Karemi says it is the end user who assigns value to the product or determines the end product, since in one instance he made a vase but it ended up being used as an aquarium.
Tuna transform hizi bottles zinakuwa tumblers, drinking glasses, whiskey glasses, water glasses, cocktail glasses, vases, candle holders, ashtrays, bulb holders, bulb lighting, bulb fixtures.
The process starts by collecting or outsourcing the waste glass bottles, which are majorly liquor or wine bottles. Alcohol bottles are mostly used, but Dennis outlines that any glass bottle could be used. After getting the bottles, Dennis takes us through the transformation process, where he makes a water or wine glass out of the waste bottle glass.
Hizi glasses with time tume end up kukua nazo with time, juu sometimes hadi kuna watu wanakuja na bottles zao wanataka wakatiwe, so wakikam nazo sometimes wanazidrop, wanaona some good ones then wanaacha zao, so eventually watu tuna end up kukua na bottles hata kama hatuendi out kuzi outsource, but sana kwa outsource huenda kwa dump sites kwenda kuzi outsource for hours.
The 4-step process begins here, where the bottle is cut according to the required end product, creativity being critical in this. The second step occurs on another machine, where the rough edges remaining on the wanted part of the glass are removed. What follows is leveling the upper part of the glass to give it an even touch. The last stage is washing the glass. However, if it has stickers, it is dipped in water for some time to make it easy to scrub off the sticker before washing. This gleaming beautiful glass is now ready for sale.
So my number one clients ni clubs, hotels, personal people wenye wanataka for home use na watu wenye wanafanya decor. Hawa wanne ndio my main clients.
At Karim Glass Solutions, they have however simplified their art by creating a machine that reduces 4 machines needed to 1. Despite the venture creating jobs for 4 people, it has environmental benefits.
Environment ni upon us clean, so lazima ujitume like to make sure the environment is a safer place, because you see hizi bottles zilikuwa zina lay around huko, unapata wase wana have fun, wame drink. Kuna client wangu alikuja mmoja akaniambia alienda Masai Mara akapata simba inacheza na chupa, like just fun, na hiyo ni kitu mbaya sana.
According to Professor Peter Wangai, an environmental expert who lectures at the Kenyatta University under the Faculty of Environmental Studies, waste glass, including glass bottles, have detrimental environmental impacts.
Glass can be a big challenge when it comes to, landfills and the land degradation, so to say, because we have said that it can take even 1 million years to degrade.
Aside from value addition to what many will term as waste, Professor Wangai explains that reusing of glass helps in energy conservation, since glass repurposing as the one carried out by Dennis uses less energy than is used in production of new glass from the required raw materials.
When we also reuse glasses, it means that we are also minimizing extraction of raw materials that make glass. And I said that we need silica, we need soda ash, we need limestone, and so we minimize on the extraction of these raw materials. Number 3, when we reuse glass, we also minimize carbon emissions. Why do we say so? Because in the process of making glass, there is a lot of CO2 emitted into the atmosphere. And today we know the big challenge of CO2 emissions. It is causing global warming, and by extension is causing climate change.
Professor Wangai also shows us some artistic work made from waste glass bottles by KU students, as he affirms the need for creativity and that as a way to minimize waste load in our ecosystems. Wangai says waste is a resource.
That's why we say that waste is a resource. Waste is not supposed to be seen like something that is terrible. It is something that can be converted into products. It's something that can create employment. It's something that can contribute so much to the well-being of the society, economically, socially, and even environmentally.
In this venture, waste is not waste, as Dennis later sells the broken pieces of glass bottles, which he does not need, to glass recyclers who melt it to produce new items.
Once tumecut bottle, hii piece ya juu, kuna mtu kama anazi-collect, anazi-store, anazi-resell kwa mtu mwenye anaenda na melt, ana form new products.
Dennis Karemi urges the youth not to lose hope and be innovative in creating employment for themselves.
It is through this that Dennis and his colleagues have been able to create employment for themselves as they transform glass waste into useful items, including glasses, which can be used at the comfort of your home, even in a way as they help curb or combat climate change. Mutweri Eliud, KUTV.
All right, allow us to take another short break. At this point, we're coming back with sports news, so stay with us.
Abraham tells you that God has sent him, and he has marshaled up a few followers. Then God tells him, now take a knife, slaughter your son. Do you think you will categorize Abraham's acts as religious or cultic?
Kenyatta University will hold its 53rd graduation ceremony on Friday, 21st July 2023 at the main campus along Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV, KU website, Lola app, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786-335-111 or visit the KU website on www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Kaka mtazamaji popote ulipo unapokuwa ukitazama Safina Show
inang'oananga sasa hivi. Ungana nami Albanas Mwania, nahodha wa Safina Show, nikutoe ng'ambo ya pili hadi ufuoni. Safina Show, sauti ya matumaini.
Adventures across the African continent.
See breathtaking wildlife, stunning landscapes,
and out of this world technologies.
Meet incredible scientists
and learn fantastic facts.
Explore, discover, be amazed.
Be part of the next generation of African change makers.
Be a part of Engine, Africa's #1 science discovery program. Yay!
We're learning every day.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Now, long-distance Kenyan athlete Titus Ikiru has been suspended for allegations on doping. This report was released by the Athletics Integrity Unit today, where Ikiru is ranked the 6th fastest man in the history of marathon. Ikiru has so far won 2 marathon races. A soccer academy in Bartonsville, Maryland, founded by a Togolese immigrant, is changing lives and training children to be stars on and off the pitch. VOA's Azuma Kompore has the story.
The players of the Elite Soccer Youth Development Academy, or ODIDA, are taking the pitch with enthusiasm. Their passion for the game creates an atmosphere filled with energy and excitement.
When I play soccer, and I score goals, it makes me get trophies. And they clap for me.
Emmanuel is not the only student who wants to win, but this academy is about more than just trophies and goals. It's a platform for instilling discipline, creating lasting friendships, and fostering an openness that goes beyond the soccer field, says Emmanuel's father, Joel Wenyiglo.
We are following the direction of the coaches and organizers here. No violence, fair play. The spirit that we see should also be reflected in their future so that we can have a more unified society where there is security, harmony, and all will prosper.
Le vivre ensemble, tout ça va prospérer.
As an immigrant from Togo, Coach Agbeniyan Amusu, known for his nickname Fofo, started the academy 20 years ago. Amusu says his professional soccer background and unwavering commitment to youth development won the community over.
Quand j'avais commencé il y a 20 ans, on me traitait de fainéant.
When I started ODIDA 20 years ago, I faced skepticism and was called lazy. But as we studied the field and realized that soccer could be an instrument to combat poverty, delinquency, and substance abuse, perceptions began to change.
Sortir les enfants de la drogue, les protéger, leur donner une direction.
Okay, go back and listen. Thank you. Good try. Good try.
Amuzu's impact has spanned 3 generations of students. He says former academy students, now adults with families and careers, return every summer to help their former coaches.
On peut jouer le ballon et ne pas gagner des millions, mais il y a quelque chose en tout.
Playing soccer may not guarantee millions, but it has the power to make a significant difference, changing an entire nation or community. That's what drives me. Sharing, family, children, and the well-being of others. That's what soccer has given me.
Le bien-être des autres avant moi et que le football m'a donné.
As anticipation builds towards the 2026 World Cup, the Academy continues to train future soccer players, embodying the belief that the sport is not just about competition, but also about personal growth and community building. Orzuma Compaorate for VOA News, Burtonville, Maryland.
And finally, in sports, introduced in Nigeria by the U.S. Peace Corps in the 1960s, baseball is slowly becoming a sport of note, thanks to the efforts of a few dedicated lovers of the game. VOA's Timothy Obiezu reports from Ekiti State in Nigeria.
A weekly baseball and softball training for school kids is underway in Ekiti State in southwest Nigeria. Baseball coach Oluwafemi Aino started the training camp in 2014 with only 5 baseballs, 2 softballs, and a bat. Now, his team, Ekiti Little League Baseball and Softball, has drawn participants from 6 schools in the state, and Aino says there's not enough playing fields.
Baseball is not known anyway. We know, like, the way it was known in the US and other part of the world, but because of the passion I have for the game, I don't have any option than to just push it. And the major setback of the game is gear and equipment.
In 2002, Aino quit football to join the first baseball training in Ekiti State. And despite many challenges over the years, he says his passion for the game has only grown. In January of this year, he attended Wendell State Umpire School in the United States as part of his quest to bring baseball back to Nigeria. Youngsters like Philip Fagbero say they have big dreams.
In the near future, I see myself to excel with my teammates, every one of us, to go higher, in the USA, everywhere around the world.
Emmanuel Olayinka says all they need is an opportunity.
If we will be given a chance, which I believe it will be possible, we would like to go out as a team to play outside the country. I think that will be a great chance. We are hoping for that.
But first, they'll be working hard to win local sponsors and make the game more popular at home. Timothy Obiezu for VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
Six minutes to the top of the hour. We have come to the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. Be sure to join me again tomorrow for a conversation on the state of the nation, inshallah. My name is ODIDA. I'm in the company of SAMMY OKELLO, as our sign language interpreter tonight. Have a good night.